On paper, that settles on the P3221D, an incredible decision on the off chance that you'd like a presentation for standard imaginative errands and regular responsibilities, and assuming your inclination is for a board that is genuinely bigger than the 24 inches. And 27 inches displays oftentimes track down on office work areas, design and features, bunches of change choices and a lot of ports, a proficient standard detail. Rivals offer more specialisms. The Dell P3221D's center features are appropriate to standard jobs. The 32 inches screen is adequately huge to feel open and engrossing, without becoming overpowering. That corner to corner is matched with a 2560x1440 local goal. And it's another great figure, sufficiently huge to offer more on-screen space than the typical 1080p screen, so you'll have more space in your applications, and more noteworthy space to work in numerous windows. Those figures join for a thickness level of 92 ppi, which is fine. It's sharp enough that you won't be diverted by individual pixels, and it matches a similar freshness of a 24 inches board at 1080p. You'll possibly accomplish more honed in the event that you move up to a 4 Kelvin screen, and that is just essential assuming you need more space or accuracy for imaginative undertakings. Of course, Dell utilizes an IPS board for this monitor, and that implies the P3221D ought to convey strong variety and differentiation for a wide assortment of ordinary errands. The dependence on 10-bit variety will likewise supply a more extensive and more nuanced variety range than the 8-bit innovation utilized in less expensive screens. However, the remainder of the P3221D's particular is person on foot, a 60 Hz refresh rate and 8 ms reaction time are fine for ordinary jobs, yet not sufficient for anything past fundamental games. Illustrators will need better figures in both of those divisions as well. If you have any desire to go further with games or imaginative work, you ought to search for refresh rates past 100 Hz and reaction seasons of 5 ms or better. All things being equal, Dell has concentrated on common sense with the P3221D. The presentation offers a great 150mm of level change, and it has a lot of slant and turn development. It likewise swings round into picture mode, something that is definitely not a given on a 32 inches show. The Dell upholds VESA mounting, and it has splendid form quality and smooth development, in spite of the fact that it weighs 11.2 kilograms, so it's anything but a lightweight. It looks smart, with a downplayed metal stand with a level base and an enormous opening for link cleaning. Dell conveys great network with this screen as well. There are two USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports that face downwards on the screen's base bezel, so they're effectively open. And around the back there's a USB 3.2 Gen 1 Sort C port that handles DisplayPort and conveys 65W of charging power. The screen likewise has two USB 2.0 ports for extra peripherals in the event that you don't require quicker moves. HDMI 2.0 and DisplayPort 1.2 connectors are incorporated close by a sound result as well. The P3221D just has a small bunch of regions where it doesn't satisfy its viable design. There are no speakers, and individuals who work in imaginative fields would invite a card peruser. Dell's own P3222D incorporates a gigabit Ethernet port, albeit that screen is frequently pricier than the P3221D. The Dell's on-screen show is fundamental, while it has each standard choice you'll require, and is effectively safe with a joystick. Pro screens will convey a more noteworthy exhibit of choices for modifying varieties and settings. Regardless of those minor weaknesses, the Dell P3221D's features and size make it reasonable for a wide assortment of regular undertakings, and opponents just improve in expert regions. Picture quality, unshakable difference, and regular variety exactness. Can't deal with anything past the sRGB range. Doesn't have the refresh rate or reaction time for gaming. Out of the case, the Dell's Splendid mark of 218 nits is adequate for any office, and the dark place of 0.19 nits is sufficiently low to lone hazier regions respectable profundity. The differentiation proportion of 1147 to 1 is another great figure, effectively sufficiently high to deliver any tone with subtlety and dynamic quality. That is a strong beginning, and the great benchmarks go on somewhere else. The delta E of 2.03 is great and just past the place where natural eyes can distinguish any variety disparity. And the variety temperature of 6117 Kelvin is alright, regardless of whether it's further away from the 6500 Kelvin ideal that I'd like. The gamma normal of 2.12 is fine. Increase the splendor to the greatest figure of 313 nits, and the Dell's quality remaining parts reliable, and execution was steady at lower brilliance levels also. Dell's showcase offers good quality, yet further testing uncovers its cutoff points. While the board delivered an amazing 99.6% of the sRGB range, its Adobe RGB and DCI-P3 figures of 76.1% and 86.8% show that this monitor doesn't have the expansiveness to work in both of those variety spaces. The P3221D has a few different issues. Its backlight lost 20% of its solidarity in the base right corner. That isn't a sufficient drop to have an effect in everyday use, except that unpredictable consistency. And the absence of more extensive range capacity prevents the Dell from prevailing in additional, requesting imaginative circumstances. Dell's showcase doesn't have many additional screen modes, either, and the ones present do not merit utilizing. The game and film choices simply exacerbate the varieties, and you don't get modes intended for various work situations. A portion of the Dell's opponents offer better quality as well. The Huawei Mate View conveys further difference and a more splendid, more extensive scope of varieties, and the Asus ProArt is more accurate in the sRGB, yet the ARM-mounted LG endured with less fortunate differentiation and tones. However, this shouldn't imply that the Dell P3221D offers unfortunate picture quality. It conveys the exactness and differentiation to handle any standard responsibility, and ordinary innovative errands, regardless of weather, can go no further. Consolidate that with the Dell's scope of features, and you have a stunningly flexible board. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.